Today on Inspiration, we're with Melina Sehr, Mayor of Stonnington. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure, Katrina.
So what encouraged you to become the Mayor or run for Mayor of Stonnington?
Well, you don't actually run per se. You need to become a councillor first.
Okay.
I've been on council for nearly 10 years now. And then the Mayor is elected by fellow councillors. So you need to, I guess, win the support and confidence of your fellow councillors, and they may approach you about maybe taking a position at Mayor at some point, or may approach them. I guess in my case, I am very passionate about the city, and a number of councillors could see that, and we're very comfortable in supporting my push for Mayor.
So you basically had a cause, you saw that there was a problem and you thought you could do something about it.
Correct.
And becoming a councillor was sort of the best way that you could, really
Correct.
make a change.
That's right.
And how do you become a councillor?
So you need to nominate yourself. You've got a certain time period, and essentially you need to work out, well, what are the issues that I'm going to put forward, and do an election campaign. Now, some people will run a very extensive election campaign. You pretty much can work out when it's election time, because there's posters usually plastered all over the city. There'll be letterbox drops and so forth. But in my case, the way I do it is I like to write an individual letter to each householder and include a brochure. And my dad and I literally walk from one end of the city to the other over a 3-day period and hand deliver them all into the mailboxes.
So it's something that it's a very proactive way that perhaps a woman or anybody that wants to get involved in changing something, or if they're not happy with what's going on in the area around them, to do something about it. And I think that that's a very aspirational and inspirational thing for you to do, because you also have a full-time job.
That's correct. And look, I think I'm very passionate. I have a European background, so it's built into my DNA. But look, that's right, and it's wonderful to see just out there a number of women now in this day and age, and I'm so glad that I've grown up at the time that I was born into, because women have just grown, and their confidence, seeing the confidence in women and realising that the strengths that they have, and to get out there and they can make a difference. And look, there are times on council, it's a tough role. It is at times very thankless, and you go home and you think, why do I do this? And each election I say to my husband and to my parents, don't let me, I'm not doing it again, this is the last time, don't make, But, and then sometimes you really help somebody and they ring you and they thank you, or they write to you, and you think, no, it was all worth it, and I have made a difference. And if it wasn't for Angela, we wouldn't have this competition each year. And it was Angela's foresight. And I often think about what you've done, Angela, because I'd love to leave a legacy as you've done. So, Georgia, would you like to come forward? Congratulations. It's fantastic. And here's your certificate. You hang that with pride, and I hope to see plenty more certificates throughout your lifetime. You can have, a day at work where you're grumpy, your computer's crashed, you've lost 2 hours worth of work, and then you come to council and you're dealing with real issues that affect people and their lives and the quality of their lives, and that just, I find, it gives you a well-roundedness, and I think that's really important for people in their life. And I've discovered that as I've gotten older, you need to diversify in what you do, and this is this whole work-life balance business.
That's right, especially if you're working in a big, busy corporate environment, you're always goal-orientated. To do something that makes a difference in somebody else's life and to connect with other people is a great joy and a gift.
It is,
really. And
it's a skill we're losing. I mean, we see people, they communicate on Facebook. Their friends are on Facebook, but yet they might have interactions with them electronically. They're no longer are people really sort of getting together over lunch or ringing each other up. It's all this electronic communication, and I think we're really isolating ourselves as a society. So through things like volunteerism and meeting with the community and in my council role and getting out there, it's keeping me grounded and in touch with humanity in the world around us.
And how do you manage your busy career, your family, as well as the Lord Mayorship?
I'm very much a to-do list person. I read a great book a number of years ago called Getting Things Done by Robert Allen, so I'd certainly encourage anyone who wants to be more productive to read the book. It's very, very highly effective. And I am a firm believer in setting goals, and that's probably the hardest part of it all, is working out, what do you really want? What do you really want to get out of your life? And I have to say, I still haven't worked that out. I'm getting closer to it. And at the start of each year, I sit down and I work out, well, what do I want to achieve this year? I've got a number of other interests outside of council and work and my family that I'm interested in. I'm also doing karate, so one of my goals is to get my black belt. And I'd love to do a PhD at some stage as well. So work out what I want to do for the year, and then I break that down. I look at that list each week and I put together a to-do list of what I want to try and achieve that week. And then of course there's the day-to-day reactive things that come up. So I always have a sort of running list next to me that I keep adding things to as phones ring and emails come in with urgent requests.
So it's about planning ahead and setting your goals, and then planning what you need to do, the steps you need to do to achieve them.
Yes.
As well as day to day, have a contingency plan when things go wrong and you have to problem solve.
And people too, where their confidence, women where their confidence, isn't there, sort of don't leave themselves to dream about inspirational thoughts, which is really sad, because just look at some of the people in society and the challenges they've overcome to become leaders in our world, and people that have made a difference.
Yeah, I think anything is possible, and I think if you believe it,
and it's
enough,
so true.
Yeah,
and I've seen it happen. I've seen it. I mean, I love reading, and just reading back on history, and particularly the black movement in America, where people got on buses and said, I'm not moving, I'm sitting here, and that started a revolution. One person that no one knew, and it started a revolution and changed the course of history.
So what do you think you've learnt the most by being the mayor and volunteering and, I guess, setting goals and achieving them?
Ooh, what have I learnt the most? I think you actually answered that earlier, and that is that anything is possible. If you put your mind to something and you're passionate about it and you commit yourself to it, you can do it.
Thank you for your advice. It was remarkable.
Thank you, Katrina.
Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
And until next time, be inspired.